Good morning, afternoon, evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are thrilled to have you join us today for an exciting session as we welcome you to a week long celebration of success, innovation, and inspiration. I am Danish Nasir, your host for today's event. As we embark on the fourth day of this event, and we have one more exciting session planned for tomorrow. This week long webinar series is dedicated to discussing our customer success stories. If you are an agency owner, small business, store owner, or freelancer developer, this is your chance to learn from the expert and draw inspiration from their remarkable journey. I am excited to introduce our esteemed guest. Our guest of honor today is John Mack. John is a web designer and developer. His business is completely remote based and his clients are worldwide. And one good thing is John is a self-made person, and I really like the quote he mentioned on his site is, "Since the school system sucks, self-education is the way to grow." So, without a further ado, I would like you, John, to introduce yourself to our audience and let us know about your business as well.
Yes. Yeah, good evening. It's 11, late in the evening here in Chiang Mai in Thailand. Yeah, I've been living here for a few years, living a good life, kind of adjusted the quality of life compared to Norway. So I guess I would say that my two main areas are web design is kind of my primary income. It's my method to have a freedom, as I usually share. And my other camp is kind of the mindset coaching that I do because I come from a certain background. So that led me into try to find some freedom. And usually part of my story that I share is that I quit my last job many years ago. That was a hotel job in my home city. I had enough of people and the management, and I just quit after 5 years. And that kind of became the way for me to find freedom. And I had already started doing websites in a small scale, but this, we started growing, and basically what I did, it's like jumping into the ocean and hope you can swim, and that's what I did. And over time, I just started living by reputation, basically. So what happened is that I actually started as a Shopify expert. I became the first and only Shopify expert in Norway. I've been that for many years. I kind of got tired of it, and I moved back into WordPress, which is more fun and interesting. And that just became more and more and more. I started getting more clients, more advanced clients. I
Mhm.
started kind of having a reputation, and jobs have since then just been coming in. And when people ask, well, how do you get work? I guess I just have to say that it's just it's aligning by itself. I think I live on a reputation, and I have a whole lot of clients that are coming back and are kind of recommending me, and that has become kind of my ticket to freedom. So web design is my main thing, and I love what I do, and I love the freedom, and I also love teaching other people this now, which I also do. And over time, I improved my workflows and my platforms, and Cloudways then over time also became my final destination for offering hosting in a much better quality. So that is my life right now.
Great, John. So it's clear that you wear many hats in your professional life, from web designer to developer to YouTuber. So my question is, how do you manage to balance these roles effectively, and do they complement each other in any way?
Yeah, you know, I think the type of person I became pretty early from also the way of me educating myself on a much deeper level, because I care a lot about um, my spiritual reality, um, um, the deeper side of lives, so that I can understand reality and navigate it in a much smarter way. And when you start to go into those topics, you discover things. You see that the world is not really the way, the school system, for example, that I like to talk shit about as much as I can. It's not teaching you anything valuable to navigate life. It programs you, but it's not really educating you. So I started just looking into things myself, and I discovered a whole bunch of things that doesn't really fit into this talk here today, but it gave me the power to find trust and balance in everything I did. And I guess I can blend in that with my 17 years of martial arts. Taekwondo is the style I had. That became, of course, my way of educating myself to have structure, discipline. I basically became a leader, and I took over that club and also ran the meetings. And there was a lot of organizational work that became very useful later. And I noticed that over time when I had client meetings, very often they turn into coaching calls or coaching conversations, even consulting for their business and stuff like that. So yeah, I think with this background and also including the story from my childhood and things that have shaped me, it just shaped me into to find a good way to balance work and body and mind energy, because it's super important. And I still do that. So meditation, reading metaphysical topics, spiritual topics, I kick practice, keep the energy up. That's basically the recipe for me to be able to keep up the insane amount of work that I've been doing the last years.
Yeah. And what about your target market? Who is your target market? As you mentioned on your website, like you have a client worldwide. So who is your target market?
I would say that it's very often people who want to start a business and are starting out with an idea, but it's also smaller businesses that already have a website and want to rebuild and do something custom. I've had a few interesting jobs, similar to AppSumo. I got a client in the US, completely custom. It's probably the most wild WordPress setup I have done. Um, so that's kind of the type of clients I had. I did a custom website in Norway that's also pretty advanced, built on Oxygen, running now on its own Cloudway server. So it's varied. It's not huge businesses. I like to stay with small startups and small businesses.
Okay. And who is your inspiration? Like who inspired you to start your business, and what who was your inspiration for the taekwondo and for the mental health, something like that. So I want to know both aspects.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I have read a crazy amount of books, and there's a lot of different ways of finding inspiration. Um, I think it was basically by chance that I found Taekwondo. But I remember the black belt teacher that we had at that time. He was my inspiration. He was actually from Pakistan. He was the first black belt in our city. Um, and I think because of him and him disappearing 1 year after we left because he started working for Sony, me and the buddy that I started with, we were just green belts, but we had an insane we just had a built-in leadership capacity. So it was me and him who took over the club, and we became the first black belts basically in that area in Norway. And that gives you a drive, built-in drive, basically. But when it comes to business, there are different random people on YouTube that I've been watching success stories. Of
Mhm.
course, I read the book about Elon Musk. I also read Zero to One, which is including part of that story. That's pretty inspiring to read, to see what's possible from ground up. School doesn't matter yet. Whatever drives you, if you have a passion, and when you read success stories from people like him, that's the type of inspiration that I find uplifting.
Nice. Good to know about it. And what are the few successes as you are working in the design and development field and you are connecting with multiple clients? Is there like few of your success that you are particularly proud of? We can share on the screen for our audience who are watching.
Yeah. If you are, do you mean you want to share a link, or is that
You
what you
can
have in
also,
mind?
yeah, you can also share the link in the private chat and I can display the project on the screen
Let,
so people can see. Yeah,
let me share that with you.
and you
So
can share the story behind the project.
I can do that. I mean, I think I lost track of how many websites I built, and I certainly don't want to talk about the first websites I built starting out in Norway. I just can cry about it. But that's how it is, you know. Started with Dreamweaver and stuff like that. But this is one kind of cool job that I did. This guy was very detailed, and they were inspired by Apple.com. Yeah, Apple.com. Basically, what guided his inspiration for the design of that site. This is a Norwegian client selling bamboo products, and it's a 100% custom WordPress setup with a lot of custom post types and custom fields to make this site work. It's a WooCommerce site. It's running a pretty smooth video representation using Swarmify CDN, and they turned out so happy with this job that they paid me double 2 times. I've never seen this before, but they were super happy with the result, the performance of the server. We put them on a Cloudways Google Cloud. They specifically wanted their own server, and it's been really stable and running smoothly. So that came out really good, and super happy client. Big business in Norway. So I think that's kind of a nice one to share because it's so detailed, and the way this site has been built up is, like I said, we use Oxygen Builder, but we're also using Automatic CSS framework to make it more responsive and mobile friendly. And I think I have to talk about the second one. That's kind of a cool one. This is the client in the United States I mentioned. That kind of reminds me of what AppSumo is doing. These are doing the same thing. This site is even more custom. This is already well known for many because they sell software deals similar to AppSumo. Have thousands of clients around the world, doing really well. This is a design I received from a designer. They asked if I could build it up, and it just turned out to be a crazy custom site for memberships. It runs on Oxygen. They also have their own Cloudways server with higher capacity, an 8 GB server for memory. The thing, and one thing that's pretty cool here is that I used somebody I don't want to mention here now. I used another kind of a well-known premium, so-called premium hosting company on this planet. I tried them out. I had my clients there for a year, including InfoStack. InfoStack crashed 3 times when they had launch campaigns.
Okay.
Over one night, I got so tired of this service and this platform that I moved all my clients over to Cloudways, and it's never been a bug since. And InfoStack have been really amazed by that. Every launch they had, never any site crash. So that's a cool thing to hear, and I'm happy we had success with that site build. So it's doing really well.
And this drive our conversations to my next question, that is related to what attracted you towards Cloudways. So, and how Cloudways help you in your business. Can you share with us?
Yeah, I think, yeah, it was actually a local friend of mine here in Chiang Mai, an English guy. He's been living here for 20 years. And he's doing web design. He talked about Cloudways for so many times, and I never bothered to even check in on it because I didn't really believe it. And I was just overloaded with work too. But in the end, he suggested I try it out, and I liked what I saw. It was really easy to spin up my own servers. So that's basically how I moved over to Cloudways, and I saw it was much more flexible. So, and the success with that, because the thing is that many years ago, I wanted to start providing better hosting for my clients, because most of my clients, they either choose the wrong hosting. Well, that's one of the main things. They choose the wrong hosting, and they choose shitty hosting. The second thing is that they never updated their WordPress websites. So I was thinking I need to come up with something to save their ass, because I had many clients who got hacked over time because they don't maintain their WordPress sites,
Yeah.
or their site crashes and there's no option to modify servers, right? So that's why I started offering hosting. And when we moved over to Cloudways, I felt I had full control.
Yeah.
And one of the main features I love here that I've saved many of the types of clients I have, which is virtual summits, it's the elastic email sending. That's been important, because when people sign up to a site, or they need to reset the password, that was always an issue on many of the other sites or providers.
Good to know about that, and insightful thoughts behind like how you attracted toward Cloudways. And as a business owner and as a designer and developer, what are some of the challenges that you have faced when starting your business? And are you still facing challenges, and how you overcome those challenges?
Yeah, the famous one is, we would like to have clone ourselves. Um, I think the reason is probably because a little bit because of my background in martial arts, because you don't want to be trained by color belts. You need higher black belts. So you want someone that's over you or equal. And with the standards I work with and my routines and my lifestyle, it's really hard to find similar people that think the way I do and work and have the work ethic, and also the attention to detail, and be able to just think for yourself is not really impressive with most people. So it's really hard to find someone. That's been a big challenge. So basically I end up doing things myself, and I've had a team, but it's actually limited what I let them do. I just end up doing my own projects. I have a few team members that do little things, but the main challenge is to find, I guess, someone like me that could manage a lot of things that I could put trust in. Very common thing. So I think the solution now this year, 2023, is that I'm going to scale down to the amount of client work. I'm going to focus more on the hosting service we now have with Cloudways. I'm kind of so happy with this that we started a second account, and we started a hosting service called WP Alchemy together with InfoStack, because they have a lot of clients that need better hosting with a team that knows what they do. So that's what we want to be. So the solution for me is to kind of work less, but spend time on what matters now, and consider maybe one project at a time and not 10. So that's going to be, I think that's going
Yeah.
to be the solution for me, because I don't want to be a big business. I don't want to have a whole, agency. I want to keep it simple, and it's been working well. So
Yeah, and given that your approach seems to result in the long-term client relationship, so could you share some strategies for clients, for client retention and satisfaction that you have found particularly effective?
yeah, I know there are a few things that always work, and I usually mention this to other people. One thing I do, I guess, is that first of all I over deliver. I guess, in different ways. I don't just necessarily build more stuff than they ask for, but what I over deliver on is the insights I share, the advice, you could say, the consulting. One of the ways I do help them out with sometimes for my clients is to help them with what not to pay for and what not to choose and what to avoid, so they can save money and avoid costs. Um, that is a thing, and just my capacity to see things before even the clients see it, and see things they didn't see, so that they feel very safe, they feel taken care of, they feel they get more than what they paid for, and they just want to come back. And that has been a huge factor for me, because clients who want to come back, I have clients who almost more than marry me. There are clients I have now who say that don't leave me.
Yeah.
And I have just left or kind of dropped out 2 clients because it was just crazy and too much. And we have an airport here that you probably can hear.
Yeah. I listen the airplane sound.
Yeah. So yeah, that's having a filter like this to choose your clients. I'm kind of in a luxury position like that to choose my clients. But to come in a position where work comes to me all the time, I think that must have been from the treatment I give my clients and how I respect them and consult them and help them and provide a little bit extra, because they talk about it and they
Yeah.
recommend. I've never promoted anything, never.
Nice. Uh, so, John, tell us about your YouTube channel. So, as a YouTuber, what kind of content do you create?
Um, the idea with the YouTube channel is motivational content. There's been I've had kind of an overload the last 2 years with work and other things shifting around. So I've been away for 2 years and just came back this year. There was a new video yesterday, and the idea here is to share my lifestyle basically, because so many people are kind of looking up to having this type of freedom, be able to work from anywhere, and I truly do work from anywhere. Some people think it's not possible still in 2023, but I have been sitting on a beach and doing my work, for those who don't think that's possible. And I guess the audience here can understand that, but there might be people coming in thinking that, working like this is a possibility. And I do teach that now. I'm building a course platform on another server I have now on Cloudways. And I'm going to show people how they can do this. And that's also where I'm going to blend in my YouTube channel. So it's about mindset. How do you detach? I go pretty deep with things. So one main topic I have in my mindset coaching is the topic of reality shifts, and that's something that not everybody understands. But I go pretty deep on a metaphysical level with that. How can you change your reality so you can have the life you want? It's
Nice.
controlled by your belief system,
Yeah.
which comes from your background and who you allow to influence you. So this is what I talk about on the YouTube channel. So I'm trying to refine. I have a list of refinements I want to do for this YouTube channel. So it's sharing my lifestyle and telling people how they can make adjustments and create their own business and upgrade their lives.
Great. Uh, any tips and advices for the young entrepreneurs who are looking their career in the field of web designing development, or you can say in the business? So, any good tips and advices for the young entrepreneurs from your end?
Yeah, well, first of all, I would say that you certainly don't need school to educate yourself to be a web designer. I did actually go to a school in my hometown, which was basically a shit school. Um, it was so bad that I ended up as a teacher instead, and I had my own office in the end. I remember all through the school, that class was even sued over time, and they shut down. So you don't really need that now at all. Nobody cares about your grades. So for beginners who want to do this, YouTube University is it's what you need. That's all you need, and I would connect with someone who already do it. I think I would say that I would go for WordPress, and I would learn how to build custom sites and not using themes. That's what some of the things I mentioned in my course. My primary build tools now is WordPress using bricks and pods or ACF, and you can then build so much custom stuff. And for example, it's not a huge job, but let's say Bambusa in Norway. That was now I can't remember the final price, but it got really well paid, and they,
Hmm.
like I said, they were so happy they paid double 2 times. When you know how to do that stuff, you can get jobs like that, and you don't need anybody's permission, not parents, or not the school system, or not the government.
Yeah.
One another important point I wanted to mention is to do like I have done with Cloudways, because I'm very much about creating passive income. I do recommend all beginners, the moment you get your first client, suggest a hosting package for them, and they can start paying you monthly. It's super easy to spin up a server on Cloudways for 20, even for $26. I let my clients pay the double of that, and for some of the clients, we have 80 to 90% return of the cost. So I think those are my main two tips for beginners.
Thanks for your insightful tips and any suggestion for Cloudways from your end. We are
Suggestions?
like concluding our interview. So the last question from my end is any suggestion for Cloudways that you
Yeah.
want to see in Cloudways in future?
Yeah, I think I shared a lot of suggestions for you already. We have had many conversations actually. I've talked to many in your
Yeah.
team, and really nice team to work with. I mean, I guess it's not easy, but I wish I had a better way of managing DNS for clients.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's always a hassle. So if you want to upgrade or shift servers, we have to contact them, we have to log in their areas, and we have to make adjustments. So I hope somebody can invent something there.
Hopefully,
Yeah,
I will forward your suggestion to the product team. Then let's
yeah,
see what they decide. So thank you so much, John. We are done with our questions. If anybody want to contact to John, like here's his website. You can contact him. You can get in touch with him. You can discuss your project with him. Hopefully, he will help you around web designing and development. So here is his website. So we are done for like today's interview. Thank you so much for such an informative session, John. I really appreciate that. You took a you took a time for from your busy schedule, as I requested you very last moment, and you agreed for this interview. So thanks a lot for this. It really means a lot for me and for my company. Thanks to everyone who joined us today for this session. We have one last session lined up for tomorrow with Michael Donovan on Niche Twins. So it's a great success story of a blogging website. So don't forget to listen the session and stay tuned and keep learning. So and goodbye to everyone. And once again, thank you so much, John, for this interview.
you're welcome.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.